What's up, everybody? Welcome to another epic video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the free way to get sales on Redbubble. Before I do, I just want to go ahead and say to everybody who's a member of the Redbubble tagging course, we're going to be running another update out soon with more content really soon. I'm thinking a little bit in the later of the upcoming week. So today is the 22nd. I'm thinking by, the 25th, the 26th, or not even the 25th, maybe like the 26th to the 27th is when the next few videos will drop. We got a few video requests. So for the people who are doing the video requests and they're asking questions, don't worry, I got your emails. Even if I didn't reply, which I don't reply to video requests, I just make the videos in the members area. So if you're a member, you have some questions, drop them. In the members area, we have a section where you can ask questions and we make videos as long as they're related to the concept of the course. With that being said, like I said, we are planning to do a drop with a few videos answering some video requests soon. So you guys know the details on that. Let's go ahead and jump in to the free way to get sales on Redbubble. So I want to be clear. 70 to 80% of my traffic comes from this method, okay? And this method is completely viable. Now, when we talk about the free method, I want to show you guys my experience. And by the way, if there's any spelling here, when I get an idea to a video, I'm just writing it down like a madman. Spelling, grammar, there's going to be a ton of issues, but try to stay focused on the content and not really what you're seeing on the screen. But this is going to be my strategy behind this kind of long-term game of getting free sales. Now, just to be clear, when I say free sales, it's not entirely free. It doesn't cost you any money, but it does cost you effort and it does cost you time. A lot of times in the passive income community, we get confused and we think passive income means easy income. That's really not the case. If we want to make money later down the road without working for it later down the road and trading our time for money, we're gonna actually have to work pretty hard. And I think anybody who's made passive income can actually agree with me on this. All right, so I want to be clear on that. And just forewarned is forearmed. This is my personal experience based on the data that I've accumulated, the information that I've accumulated based on the sales that I've earned. All right, so let's go ahead and continue. I want to be clear, the free way is the long way, okay? A lot of the times you've seen me on YouTube here talk about paid versions, paid softwares, paid apps, different, design softwares that can help you. For example, Canva, paying $13 a month. Different paid tools can help you speed up the process. With that being said, we're not utilizing any paid stuff in this concept here, so it will take a little bit longer, right? When anything is for free, you're not getting the luxury of speed, but it's free. I mean, you can't really beat free. You can't beat it. So the free way is the long way. It creates long-term sales, but more importantly, it takes more effort. You know what I'm saying? So this is just a little kind of a caveat to that. You have to be aware that, on an Instagram bot, I can set up an Instagram bot and get a sale, right? But with this method, I could set up the tags, do everything normally, but not necessarily get a sale right away. It could be a few months, and that's why I have a message right here. It says it could be a few months before you get a design that sells. And I just want to be clear, guys, that's okay. Like, if we create a bunch of designs and those designs take a few months to sell, so what? At least we're making money later down the road. So there's really no shame in that, and there's nothing wrong about that. There's nothing to be embarrassed about that. It's actually a great thing to actually have, because that's what's going to create more and more sales later down the road for you. You're going to have days where you wake up from a long day and then you see, hey, you got a sale. You get that Redbubble email that says you've made a sale. You're going to be eating dinner one day with your family and boom, you get another sale. Maybe you're out with some friends, you get another sale. That's kind of the beauty of passive income. But this is actually why I recommend doing more designs. You guys know I've talked about creating a lot of designs in the past, as many designs as you possibly can, obviously within Redbubble's limits. But the more designs you have, the better chance you get at creating sales. And yes, it does take effort, and when I say long way, I mean effort, a lot of effort. It's a longer path, it's a harder road, but it's worth it, in my opinion. All right, so let's go ahead and jump right in. We don't want to misrepresent the two, the paid and the free. I'll break down the differences. There's going to be methods within the free that are obviously in the paid, right? Like creating the design, tagging, titling. those are all things that regardless of whatever you decide to use, what tools to help you create sales, you're going to do anyway, right? So for example, like creating the actual design. Whether you're doing free methods or paid methods, everybody has to create designs on Redbubble to be seen, right? So I don't want to misrepresent the two. There are some similarities, but there are differences. So for example, if you guys are familiar with the Instagram bots, we can use an Instagram bot to promote our Instagram account to get more sales on Redbubble. When we get more sales on Redbubble, we're creating it almost instantaneously. We don't wait for people to search for our designs and things like that. When I say instantaneously, I don't mean like instantly, like right now or an hour or two later. No, I mean like you have control over who gets to visit your website, and it's almost like advertising, really, right? That's what I mean, right? So that's kind of the paid methods. The free method, however, it's like casting a net in the ocean, hoping that there are fish, right? So you're a fisherman, you don't have any GPS, no signaling, nothing. You take a net, you throw it into the ocean, and you rope back up that net, hoping that there's something in there. That's kind of the free method. Is there something wrong with that? Like I said, no. That's perfectly fine. In fact, like I said, 70 to 80% of my traffic comes from these methods. Now, I want to go ahead and explain how I personally set it up. So you guys know I do the paid methods, but after I move on from account to account to account on Redbubble, those accounts that I essentially left behind, they're creating me or sales with the long-term kind of phase where I'm not really working on them day to day, but they are creating me sales. So that's kind of how I go about it, all right? And if anybody needs more explanation to that, just message me in the comments, ask me what are you talking about when you mention XYZ, and I'll go ahead and explain. Okay, so what's the Freeway? Well, let's break down the order of operations. What actually happens on Redbubble for you to get quote-unquote free sales? So the first thing, obviously, is you're creating your designs. Your designs are up there, okay? Number one, the customer performs a search. Number two, they find the product of value. And number three, they purchase the product. Now, this is just an example. Obviously, not every single purchase funnel or like essentially the funnel behind where the customer visited goes like this every single time. But this is just a generalization, right? Like they do a search, they find a product, they purchase the product, okay? Sometimes they might search for a product, they might not like it, they might do a different search. You guys get the point. But the point generally is the customer is in need. They perform a search. Now, if we break down this idea of where the search is coming from, there's only two places right now where they could potentially come from. We have the Redbubble search, the algorithm, and then we have the search engine off of Redbubble, which is Yahoo, Bing, and Google. Google being the biggest one out of all of them, okay? So the question then becomes, if we know that consumers are searching, right? We're reverse engineering here. If we know that in order to get a product, a customer has to search for the product, and we know that in order for customers to search the product, they can use the Redbubble algorithm, the Redbubble search engine, or any search engine off of Redbubble, let's just say in this case Google, right? Then we know we have to optimize for these two search engines. If we can focus on what it takes to be successful with these two search engines, then we can focus, then essentially what we're getting is free sales, right? So let's go ahead and tackle that. So there's two aspects to actually getting these sales, right? There's the title and the tags. Let's go ahead and talk about the title first. So when you title a product on Redbubble, my recommendation is do not use a general keyword in the title. Remember here, I wrote keyword, not keywords. There's a reason why, and I'll explain this later down here. You can include general keywords, but make sure it's a long tail keyword or a long tail keyword phrase to improve getting picked up by the major search engines. So for example, if you use the keyword faith, right, you're going to run into a few problems. There's a lot of people with the keyword faith on Redbubble, and it's only one tail. Like there's only one word here, right? But if you go with a longer phrase, you have a better chance of getting picked up by Google. For example, if I go on Google and I search for the keyword faith, I'm going to see millions and millions and millions of results, right? But if I search for Black Faith Christian Cross, now I've basically decreased my pool, made it so much smaller to the point where now I can actually stand out, Okay, so you could see here, for those who don't know what a long tail keyword is, it just means that there's more phrases in the whole entire phrase, or in the whole entire keyword. As SEOs, when we say a long tail keyword or a short tail keyword, we just mean the whole phrase. We don't actually mean one word, right? So here, this is a long tail keyword, even though it has multiple parts to it's like a phrase, right? This is a short tail keyword because it's in relation to this, it's shorter, right? Pro tip: try to make your title match the exact term people are already searching for. So once again, this is a pro tip. A pro tip is that, and this is what I learned from my personal experience, is that if I can find a keyword that people are already searching for, and I can match that exact keyword phrase, and it happens to be long tail, I'm giving myself a better chance to be seen in the algorithms of the search engines, the major search engines, the Bings, the Google, the Yahoo, right? Now, is there a guarantee of this? No, there's no guarantee. It's just a matter of probability, right? Like, if there's nobody creating a design for an exact keyword that's a long tail phrase, and I'm the only person, can I guarantee it? No, but I have a high probability of being seen, right? So that's just kind of the concept there. So for the title, like I said, if you guys don't walk away with anything else, just realize for the title, it's better to create exact term matches, right? Of keywords that people are already searching for. And then what you could do is, based on that, is you create your design with that title. Obviously, make sure you don't, do any mess with any copyrights, trademarks, or anything like that. That could cause your account to get banned, especially if it's a newer account. But the best thing you could do is don't go with short tail keywords like a one word in the title. So don't use a general keyword, but use keywords, multiple. Okay. Tags. Now let's go ahead and talk about tags. We talked about title. Now let's talk about tags. Your tagging strategy will help you get seen mostly on Redbubble. Now, of course, tags do serve a purpose with general SEO, right, for the search engines. But specifically, we're talking about Redbubble here. Your tags are going to be play one of the biggest roles when it comes down to being seen on Redbubble. Okay. Since the information is on the website of Redbubble, the primary function of the tag is to add keywords so that Redbubble's customers will be searching for a specific keyword and your design will appear. Okay? So really what that means is, and I use this little example here, is I have a photo of a pig with a pair of sunglasses and a hat. Okay? I wouldn't recommend you use tags like goat, tiger, high school. Why? Because they're not related to what the consumer is actually searching for. So if the consumer is searching for the word goat, you wouldn't want to tag the word goat for this product in your product, because this has nothing to do with goats, right? Assuming that this is your design. You want to essentially picture in your head, does my tags that I'm adding directly relate to the product? Now, this can cause some issues, and I've actually talked about this in the tagging course, but this can potentially cause some issues, because how do you know how direct to go with it or how not to direct to go with it, right? How do you know how general to go with it or not general? So that's kind of in the next slide. I'm going to talk about this. Let's take this picture, for example, okay? You can use the tag animal. Now, somebody may make a generalization and say the word animal is so general that if I try to sell this design on the tag animal, I won't make a sale. And you're right, but you're also, it's not 100%. Like, I'll explain what I mean. When you add a tag, guys, you got to realize that there are certain tags that you're going to, pop up for in the results just off of sheer numbers. Like, not even any kind of skill that you've added to your arsenal. Just off of numbers alone, you can pop up. So, for example, if there's a tag with, let's say, 1 million results, if you use that tag, no matter how much SEO you do, you're not going to be on the first page. There's just way too much competition, assuming that it has 1 million results, right? But let's say you find another tag that you've added to that specific design, and that design has, let's say, 30, right? Well, then by default, no matter what, you're going to get on the first page, right? Because Redbubble has, 50, 60, 100 designs per page. So by definition, you're going to show up on the first page. So in that same notion, right, I want you to pay attention to this, which is this example. If I use the keyword animal, right, is this an animal? Yes. Is it directly related to animals? I mean, maybe not, right? It just depends on the viewer of the consumer. Most likely not. But what could happen over time is I could eventually get sales from the keyword animal. But what I have to do is I first have to get sales from the lower tags, because the lower tags with the lower results is what's actually going to give my chance to be seen. So for example, if I used the keyword animal, right, and in my tags, but I never added any other tag, I probably would never get a sale, because nobody's realistically going to see it, because the keyword animal has 3.2 million results and growing, right? But if I use the keyword pig and then animal, right, like both of them, if I happen to get a sale from the keyword pig, since I added the keyword animal to my tags, what I'm doing now is I'm improving my ranking in the race for the keyword animal. So let's say I have 0 sales. I have the keyword animal, I have the keyword pig. Somebody searched for pig, somebody finds my design, somebody buys it, okay? Let's say I used to be on page, I don't know, 600. I'm just throwing out numbers. I'm not really saying that this is the case, but let's just say this is the case. I'm saying 600, I'm on the 600th page. I just got my first sale. Well, what happens is I got my first sale from the keyword pig, not the keyword animal. But what happens because of that, and the way Redbubble's algorithm is set up, is that since I got that sale, I'm essentially moving up now in the algorithm search ranking. So maybe I was on page 600, and now maybe I'm on page 10 or page 20, right? Because I got my first sale. So the smaller tags are going to, and like I said, I've explained part of this in the tagging course along with other aspects, but the idea here is that you can't rely just on these larger result keywords. You have to go for smaller keywords, and we show how to find the smaller keywords and things like that in the tagging course. All of it's explained in the tagging course. If you need guidance in tagging, if you need some help, you feel like maybe you could get a better handle on it, the course is there for you. It's currently, guys, by the way, $39.99. As I add more content to the course, as you guys see, we're always adding content. The course of the price of the course will go up, but I'm keeping it slow. I'm slowing down the increase of the price, just for personal reasons. But at the end of the day, you can figure out the information completely for free. You don't need a course. It's just if you want to shortcut the process, if you need help with that, and you feel like it's something that you need to improve, right? And that's kind of my take on that. But your chance is getting higher and higher as you get more sales, to get more sales from the smaller tags over time because you use the larger tags. Now, there are some designs on Redbubble that only have very competitive tags. That could mean one of two things. They could be getting sales from outside of Redbubble, which is, in this case, it has nothing to do with the free methods, or it could be the free methods, but it could be, completely organic, like let's say Instagram organic, without any bots, without any tools, without anything like that. Or it could be they've been on the platform for a longer period of time and they have that early mover advantage. If you have that early mover advantage on Redbubble, that's a blessing, because one of the biggest things that control who shows up in the Redbubble algorithm not only is keyword relevancy, right? When I say keyword relevancy, I mean the keyword in the tag, the title, and the description, but I'm also talking about sales, and specifically conversion rates, right? Redbubble is obviously going to put up designs that sell better in the tag, in the search, right? And they're going to put them up higher. So that's just kind of something you want to be aware of. Now, if you notice on Redbubble, let's just go ahead and pull up Redbubble here. On Redbubble, there are different aspects to a search. So if I search, for example, let's say tiger here. Let's pull up tiger. If I search for tiger, okay, we have 4 different categories. We have most relevant, we have trending, we have newest, and we have best-selling. Best-selling means that these designs that contain the word tiger are getting the most sales. Doesn't necessarily mean it relates to tiger, right? Because here's a shirt of sharks. Well, one of the tags that could have been used was tiger shark, right? That's just an example. Or this guy, the Tiger Woods guy, right? So what I'm trying to say is best-selling, and now you know the information that was presented here. Because of the tagging strategy that they used, they'll pop up in the best-selling. Doesn't mean it's necessarily the most relevant, right? So if we switch here to most relevant, which is the default view, by the way, I want you to look here. Do you see that tiger shirt anywhere here? No, you don't. Why? Because even though it's getting the most sales, it's not necessarily the most relevant. And I believe the Redbubble algorithm, from my personal experience, controls relevancy not only by the title, the tags, and the description, right? Finding that keyword in the title, tags, and description, but in terms of the relevancy of your actual tags. So, for example, if we look here at the tags, right, it's all stuff related to that topic, whatever that topic is. And then if we go to other topics, right, if we go to other designs with this exact same design that happen to be in the most relevant, notice that there's no keywords that are like diametrically opposite opposed, right? So like, for example, this shark one, a shark has nothing to do with a tiger. And the reason why it doesn't show up for most related is because the tags within this design show that and prove that. So you have here goblin, you have whale, you have hammerhead shark, you have tiger shark, right? Tiger will help you rank, like this shirt, they will rank for the word tiger because of the word tiger shark. But it doesn't mean it's necessarily related to the concept at hand, which is actually, you know, what proves my ideology here is that Redbubble, if you look at it, if you look at all the designs, right? If we just search for tiger, let's just go ahead and do this again, right? What pops up by default? It's the most relevant. It's not necessarily the best selling. And that actually shows a huge hole in their system with the tagging, right? Like I can tag for a bunch of things that nobody really knows about, might get a few sales here and there, and then I can add one tag that happens to be related to absolutely nothing of the design, and I'll still rank in the best selling section for words that literally have nothing to do with my design because of that kind of loophole in the system. Now, am I saying that you should take advantage of it? The answer is not really. And the reason why is because at the end of the day, the consumers have a logical, conscious mind. And if they see something that doesn't relate to the art that they're picking, they're just simply not going to buy, right? And so at the end of the day, the best strategies to do here and the best takeaway to have is not only optimize your title, not only optimize your tags, but realize it's a long-term game. You're not creating sales on command with this free method, but it does work, and it works for most of my personal traffic on my stores. Like I said, for me, and I'll just pull up a whiteboard here. Let's go ahead and pull up a whiteboard because I want to do a little explanation here. What I do is, let's say I'll create one store, store number 1. I'll work on the store for 30 days. I'll create as many designs as possible. Right now I'm on like a 60 design a day kind of tip, but I'll create as many designs as possible for 30 days. And then what I'll do is I'll put this store to the side, right? But before I put it to the side, during this 30-day process, I am working on the paid methods. I'm trying to boost up the sales artificially as much as possible during that period of time. After these 30 days are over, that's it. I move on to my next store, store number 2. Regardless of how successful this store was, whether it got 1 sale, whether it got 40 sales, or 1,000,000 sales, it doesn't really matter. I'm focused on my next one. But guess what? While I focus on my next one, this is actively growing in the process because of the numbers of designs that I have, which goes to my first tip, like I said, is that in my opinion, where was it here? I recommend more designs can potentially help you, right? The more designs you create, the better chance you have, and that's what's going to create passive income in the long term, right? I mean, you could get away with creating a few designs if they happen to rank really, really well, but you got to think about it. What's the mathematical percentage that you're going to rank really well? Well, you could do that very easily. You could take the total number of results, right? Or the position where you want to be in, let's say position number 1, right? And that's only one position, and you divide that by the total number of results. And if the number is extremely low, then you're kind of screwed. Or, like I said, you could do this method where you just add as many designs as possible for that period of time, obviously within Redbubble's limits, move on from store to store to store. Now, I know there's going to be a lot of talk about why I have multiple stores. I'll actually talk about that in the future. Some of you already know, but some of you don't. And so maybe I'll make a video on that in the future, but I don't want to keep this video up any longer than it has to be. I feel like it was long enough.